So we got BTC back at 105K. Well, if you haven't noticed, we had a little dip earlier today. If you've just woken up, well, it's pretty much where we were yesterday. But today, we've got Trump throwing out some bullish things right now. He's busy having a talk. And then we're also talking about the Japan carry trade. Is that still a thing? Or are we going to get some amazing entries here, guys? So I've got tons of setups for you on all your favorite alts. We've got so much to talk about here. Let's get right into it. And as always, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. And you know who's here now, Mr. Tinfoil Hat, Mr. Fundamentals. He's actually quite a nice addition. I'm quite enjoying this. He's going to bring you a little bit of alpha in a couple of seconds. So we're going to look at some BTC now. And I see NZ Danny talking Trump pump. That is correct. And, you know, things are looking bullish. He's talking AI. He's talking a couple of things. He's talking about cutting interest rates as well while this is happening, while we're going live here. So James is going to update us in a sec. Here is Banter Bubbles at the moment. And Altcoin minus 12%. That was rejecting off a trend. So looking a little bit bearish now after a little pump earlier today. Ethereum Classic waking up. Is that a sign? Is ETH going to do something for us? And then Lido, well, actually contradicting that, minus 7% at the moment. Now, some of our AI agents have taken a bit of strain. And what you're looking at now, negative 13% on AI16Z and Virtual. They've actually had a little pump now after Trump made a couple of statements earlier. So they are looking a little bit better. Then Ondo on the left. I'm talking about Ondo today. And I've got an update on my Ondo trade for you guys. And Hamid says, no worries about Japan hike. I concur with you, sir. That is basically, you should have done my show today. And that is basically what I want to tell you. But let's go. Let's talk BTC. And then we're going to discuss all the important stuff or important things going on at the moment. So most importantly, got a banger long off Bitcoin this morning for the chart hackers, 101,557. And we took the chart hackers through this long all morning. It took me about 5 hours to get this thing going, but we dropped into our hot zone. This was one of the levels we gave you yesterday, 101,500. It was one of our hot zones. And typically we were just looking for divergence on the 1 hour or a reversal. And we also had a nice setup on the 2 hour. So that gave us clues in the chart hackers for that trade that we were going to get a pump. Now, subsequently, we've had a banger move. You can see we've broken trend. And now we are rejecting it pretty much where we rejected the last time we had a pump. So you can see we're struggling to reclaim those zones. So what is the next step for me? Well, if there is more energy in this move, let's assume we get a little bit more momentum here from Uncle Trump. My next big zone is going to be the 108 to 109K. So that hasn't changed from yesterday. And if we pump in there quite quickly, I would expect a nice rejection there. Could give you an entry for a short. Is it going to hold? Well, that remains to be seen. But it could give you a nice rejection entry for a potential short there on BTC. So 108 to 109, that's the big one. What do we need to do right now? You can see we are rejecting. What do we need right now? For me, 104,686. That is our VWAP. That is our 382. That is our horizontal. So that is what I want to see hold here. That's going to be our most bullish hold if we do drop into that. So 104,600 would be ideal. Look out for a wick just below that. And then as long as we're reclaiming that with a candle close, then we should remain relatively bullish there. So 104,600 and then backup levels for you guys. I don't want to go lower than this, 103,357. Okay, so call it 103,300. That's the next one for me of interest. Now, that's our typical 618 that we want to go and tap, and that'll take out a lot of this wick here. You can see there was a little bit of volatility. Okay, you can see we had on the 15 minutes, you can see we had a nice big pump, and then they sent it all the way back down. So there might be a case for coming back to take out some of that liquidity there for us. Let's go back to the 2 hour, and then you'll see why that makes sense. Oh, we go back to the 1 hour, and then you'll see why that makes sense for us there. 103,300. So just look out there on that level. That is, we're still bullish. As long as we're holding those, we are bullish for this move. Now, typically, I'm going to show you a lot of alts today where we are sitting at 1 hour and 2 hour bullish divergences. They're telling us potential short-term move, and they were painting that picture. So some of them have started popping already. So if you are jumping into alts now, just remember there's going to be a little bit of risk for you to the downside. The best entries were about an hour or two ago before we obviously got those moves. So 2 hour, 1 hour short-term bullish, but then still, for me, 12-hour daily, things are looking a little bit bearish there out there on these alts, and I'm going to take you through it. I'm going to take you through a trading plan there for you guys as well. Okay, so Bitcoin, you've got your levels, you know what to do and what you need. Let's talk what's going on now. There's a couple of things. So Trump is actually speaking live. I'm not going to go into exactly everything, but I know James has been watching this like a hawk. But one of the big headlines that caused that little pump that you saw a couple of minutes ago, this is one of them. There's multiple reasons why things started popping, but Trump says the US will be the world capital of AI and crypto. So things are going down here at the moment. There's speculation of a couple of other things that are going to be announced today. Or maybe not, but here's CZ saying the US strategic Bitcoin reserve pretty much confirmed. Crypto moving at crypto speed again. And we can see Cynthia Loomis is saying she's honored to chair the Senate Banking Subcommittee on Digital Assets. Now, we know she's super bullish on these things. We know she's the right lady for the job. Okay, James, tell me what's going on here. What is Trump talking about at the moment? What's cooking there? What am I missing?
Well, you've caught most of it there. The other big thing that he said is that he is going to basically force interest rates to be cut. He doesn't necessarily have jurisdiction there, but he's going to put pressure because we need interest rates down so the economy can start repairing itself. So that's another big reason for the pump. Super bullish, that is.
Super. There's so many like amazing news events going on out there. We've got the S&P about to break all-time highs. We're going to look at that chart in a minute, but Bitcoin lagging a little bit. Are we going to get a massive slingshot here on crypto? Is it time?
Let's hope.
Let's
Depends on how he finishes the speech.
Yeah. He must end strong, though. He's got to end strong for us here. He mustn't come and end us. Now, we're going to bring James back just now. He's got a couple of things for us from the fundamental side of things. So just to talking about this Ross Ulbricht yesterday, just to touch on this again. I mean, the guy looked so happy to be out of his 10-year sentence for what some people consider absolute bullshit. And he was even carrying his prison plant that he'd obviously been nursing for so long. But look how nice Kraken is. Now, it remains to be seen how much hidden Bitcoin this guy actually has. I'm sure he's doing okay. But Kraken have sent this guy 111,111 USD in Bitcoin. I mean, isn't that cool? Isn't that a nice gift for the man? So that is good. And then James 𝗓𝗡 talking about an interesting ETF that has been launched. These guys are taking a proper bet here on Bitcoin upside. So what these guys have done, they've launched this capped Bitcoin ETF. Okay, it's by Calamos with an official upside return cap of 11.6%. They're saying the best return you can make is 11.6, but you can't lose. Okay, that is what I'm reading into what is going down here. So it's 11.6%. They're going to give you less fees. So call it 10.96 on this ETF, and you can't lose. Okay, so they are taking a massive upside bet on BTC. That obviously it does way better than that 10 or 11%. So that is an interesting game that these guys are playing. And the first one, I think they said it matures sometime in 2026. That's when it matures. Okay, sometime in January 31st, 2026. So they're taking some big bullish bets there on BTC, and they're guaranteeing you a return, and it's capped. Your downside is capped. Now, some other bullish news. Geez, there's so many bullish things that are going on at the moment. Why is Bitcoin not absolutely ripping? Circle CEO says Trump will issue multiple executive orders on crypto soon. Okay, I mean, he's obviously talking to these guys. Okay, so they all know about it. It's maxed. In fact, Jesus, we haven't pushed this in a while. I think we should hit it again. I mean, we got to go. We haven't actually hit this thing in so long. It's gathering dust. Okay, but there we go. S&P, is this the moment? Are we about to break all-time highs? Remember, I'm holding that S&P long in Prime XBT. If we pop some all-time highs, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give you guys some of those profits from that trade. So I am trading it on Prime XBT. If you want to join me on Prime XBT, and well, I mean, obviously, if I'm going to give away, you got to be trading on Prime XBT. So I'm going to give away some of the profits to a lucky winner there. But what you need to do is just go into the show description, go under the show, click more, and go into Prime XBT, sign up there. And don't forget that you can receive $400 in trading bonuses for a $2,000 deposit. Okay, they're giving you a 20% trading bonus. So if you put in 2,000, they're giving you 400 that you can trade with. So nice incentive there for you guys to sign up. And if there's going to be a giveaway, you got to be trading on Prime XBT. Okay, so jump in there. Make sure you are cooking on Prime XBT, and I'm going to sort you guys out in the next couple of days. We must just break this all-time high. Okay, Bitcoin on the daily looking nice and bullish. I think my only concern here at the moment is the wick. And, for me, it makes sense. We're going to take this wick out at some point, and then maybe some kind of rejection that will fall into the bearish side of things, obviously. And then our upside target is 114. But for now, short term, if you're still in a long, and I closed my long earlier that I gave to the chart hackers, I closed it on that 618 rejection. And, if you are still in a long and you scalping and you're doing high leverage, maybe that wick fill is going to be a target for you that you might want to TP, or maybe not. Okay, obviously, maybe it won't round trip, maybe it will keep pumping. But, for me, that 618 rejection was my take profit. And the next one is going to be that 108, 109. Okay, and so this is the current situation. Prime XBT. I'm still now nursing this ETH trade. Okay, this ETH trade is absolutely killing me. I'm just nursing this thing slowly. And I'm hoping ETH wakes up at some point, but I'm losing faith again. The ETH trade is actually killing me at the moment, losing faith in this thing. But I'm going to show you this chart. We got to get this ETH to start doing a couple of things. Now, before we get into our altcoins, Poseidon is talking about the dominance chart collapsing and falling over. And he's looking at the Wall Street cheat sheet as his example. So he's saying, look, it's time for this dominance to start falling out, and we're at the complacency stage. So if you look at the Wall Street cheat sheet, you can see that does tie into the euphoria. Then the second bounce is complacency, and then it falls over. So interesting take as to what he's saying. And then in terms of what is going on here for me on dominance now, we could see yesterday that we had our bearish divergence on the 8 hour. We started getting the dip and it started falling over for us. Okay, so that's nice. But now Trump enters the room, some bullish things enter the room, and now dominance starts popping off again. Now that takes me to the daily chart on dominance, which actually still looks pretty bullish. We can't ignore that. So when we see the 8 hour, when we see the 12 hour wanting to turn over, we need to know that this daily is now hitting the top, but it's looking quite hot at the moment, and we're not getting reversal prints just yet. So just be a little bit cautious there from that respect with dominance. But again, it doesn't matter as much if Bitcoin is pumping. We can be relatively relaxed. But my target here for dominance is going to be that wick fill, so just under 60%. So potential pressure on altcoins. When do we get a nice strong alt rally? I would assume at that 60% mark. Then we get a nice rejection, and then we start cooking. Michael, what did Michael say there? I missed that comment. Michael said, what? Trump bossing these WEF people around World Economic Forum. I thought he's talking about WEF. Let's get it. Okay. The fifth man is short Melania. Guys, I saw the Trump token today. Somebody made a $2.1 million buy on this Trump token. We'll try and find it. It was about an hour ago. Hazy says it's Donald Pump. I concur with you. I concur. Who else is here? What else is going on? NZ Danny says so hard to FOMO. Exactly. It's incredibly hard not to FOMO when you see all this stuff. We got to just be measured here and be quite balanced. The fifth man says, Dill, I need to get into hackers. Bro, are you not in hackers? Come on, are you not in hackers? Can we pay our month fee? Well, yes, you can. Just go into the link. Go into the hackers link under the show description. You can pay in crypto. Okay, so just go to the link. Follow what needs to happen there. And there's a 3-month option where you can pay in crypto for that thing. Okay, so it is there for you guys if you want to do it. Kimmy says, Kimmy's in the house. Hello, Kimmy. Hello. Okay, and Hassan says, Lord, dump this Ponzi. Okay, come on, guys. Okay, let's talk. Something you don't see that often from me is USDT dominance. Now, I thought this was interesting to watch today because I was looking for a Bitcoin long earlier this morning for the chart hackers guys, and we were tying in our Bitcoin chart on certain levels. And at the same time, we could see USDT dominance was starting to push into a resistance band. So that was giving me extra confluence that we may be getting a bounce on Bitcoin. So that was tying in nicely. Remember, USDT dominance is when all the money's flowing out of the whole market, pushing into USDT. They're buying USDT, okay? And when that thing rejects, that means it's coming down. That means money is flowing back out into Bitcoin, into some of the altcoins. So that's also a nice chart to watch on top of dominance. And you can see it trades relatively well. But the downside for me is this dominance. USDT dominance still looks pretty bullish. Okay, so that could be, that could be a minor problem for some fun. Okay, so just look out there. Pretty bullish on the 12 hours still. Something to watch. And then this is obviously me trading ETH at the moment again. And thanks Ethereum for the old socks that aren't working at the moment. This is literally how I'm feeling right now in this ETH trade that I'm stuck in. And no changes. Once again, the most boring trade in history. 2,800, that is still the target. So we cannot be super bullish on the entire alt market, I would suggest, until ETH starts triggering 2.8 to 2.7. You can see we've got our left shoulder over there. We've got our right shoulder. We are not reinventing the wheel here. This is just basic TA that's happening here. You can see we've got horizontals in these zones. So 2.8 to 2.7, that looks like an area that wants to be tapped at some point for ETH. And as long as we're following this channel to the downside, well, we could see it sooner rather than later. So just look out for that. And I see Anna's in the chat. Anna, welcome. How was your first day in Chart Hackers? Okay, so Anna was in the chats yesterday saying, how do I get into Chart Hackers? We told her. And then all of a sudden she arrived and she was lighting up the chats in the traders chat. Anna, let us know. How was your first day? And Arabian Panda says he's one of our traders in there as well. That guy's dropping absolute bangers. And he says shoulders. Where? So guys, look, that is the plan on ETH. It's not very exciting at the moment. I'm nursing this current ETH position. When do we turn super bullish on ETH? For me, no changes. We got to blow this 3.5. If we blow that 3.5, it means we're breaking through the 50-day MA, and then we can start shifting a little bit more bullish. So that's that. For me, Trump to seize Cape Town after Greenland. Probably, bro. Probably. You never know. GM Trobius, GM sir. Okay, let's go. What's happening in the news here? So you guys probably saw this yesterday. Sol and XRP CME futures to go live February 10th, pending regulatory review. Okay, that is obviously bullish on the market in general. Then we got Ryan Connor saying Sol apps earned 73% of all crypto app revenue yesterday. A new high for the chain. Next in line, BNB 9%. Okay, number 2, ETH 6.5, base. Wow. Okay, I didn't realize base was so bad. At 2% at the moment. So basically, crypto is just about sold. That's 70% sold. Okay, that's basically where we are these days. And Trump team is buying more Solana as well. So they're obviously bullish on Sol. And again, looking at the Sol chart, it's quite a slow mover now, the 12 hour. We had the reason for the pump was this weekend with the Trump launch, the Melania launch, and it just sucked all the liquidity. But Sol obviously was the beneficiary of all of that drama. Right now, you can see, I was saying yesterday, we're looking for some kind of consolidation now, some kind of flag, and they can take us down to 216. I'm quite happy at 216 to 210. They can take us there. We've even got the 100-day holding up. So, wouldn't be too worried around that 210 to 216. That's a nice region for me. If they have to send us lower, then we'll deal with that. But there's a wick there. We've got our 200-day MA. That's at 180. We'll be looking at maybe just a touch under that. But right now, for me, don't want to turn bearish on Sol until we start closing under that 50-day MA. So I'm going to say 210 is my line in the sand for Sol. And obviously, I'm going to try and hold that Sol position forever. Okay, at least until it goes to 400. I think that's 400 is a reasonable target, eh, James, for Sol in the next 12 months?
Easy.
Do we get more? Easy.
No, I think we get more than that yet.
Okay, so that is why I'm trying to hold the Sol for so long. Okay, and you holding XRP till when? $10?
No, 100 easy.
Come on, this guy, XRP to 100. Okay, and this was me earlier. I was just telling James offline before we went live. This is exactly what happened to me earlier. AI16Z. I'd been nursing a position, growing it. It got to a really nice size, and I got to break even, and I closed it, and then all of a sudden, fucking ripped. Okay, now this happens all the time. Obviously, to you guys, if you're trading leverage, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But what I can say in these scenarios, don't feel like that every time, because obviously it's going to do it sometimes, and it really hurts. There's nothing worse than closing a trade or watching a green candle. I mean, as a trader, that is a trader's nightmare. But I can tell you, if you're consistent every time you're selecting when you are closing trades, and you just stick to a process, stick to a system, it hurts less. Okay, the pain doesn't go away. It just hurts less when you see these things pump, because you stick to your rules, because there's going to be a day where you close it and the whole market dumps, and then you're going to say, it was very clever. So just stick to your rules. Just get a system going, and don't get too upset. Now, you see, it's turning over. Here's AIXBT. It's turning over. Okay, now I'm happy now. Okay, now I'm happy. Okay, so here's the situation. at the moment, Brett short. Okay, that thing is still printing. I'm hedging short at the moment. Now, I told you guys my strategy yesterday. So I showed you guys a couple of head and shoulders plays on higher time frame on things like NIA, on things like 𝗬𝗦, on things like 𝗬𝗢𝗟𝗡𝗦, a lot of these other tokens. And I was saying to you guys, I'm starting to hedge short just in case we're going to get this this meltdown on the market. So I don't want to change my net bullish position. I don't want to change my net longs, but I'm just backing up just in case we get one more dip today. And that's also what I wanted to talk about here with this Japanese carry trade, which I actually thought was going to give us a little bit of an entry. So yeah, I mean, I've missed this whole thing, but I think we need James here for this one. James, did I look at the all-time high on the S&P? Did I just miss this whole thing?
You missed it. Yeah, you missed it. Haven't looked at that one yet.
Guys, forgive me. Okay, forgive me. Here's the S&P about to crack all-time highs. Now I'm jumping around. Forgive me, please. All-time highs on the way for the S&P. Now, what is stopping us here from blowing through? This is the question. Now, this is the Japanese carry trade. If you've been watching my show for, I mean, when was the last carry trade? August. The market collapsed. Okay, so we touched on why this was collapsing. Basically, it's been free to borrow money in Japan forever. Okay, literally forever. It's been free. Then out of nowhere, complete surprise, they raised the rates by 0.25% and the market absolutely shat itself. The crypto market fell over, US markets fell over. There was major drama. Now, that carry trade hangover hasn't gone away. And there's talk that the Japanese are going to raise their interest rates again. But now, it's not a surprise anymore, okay? So obviously we've noticed a sell-off today, and my current view is these guys, they're expecting a rates increase. So before there was just a surprise, then the market just started jumping. We're expecting something here. So for me, this is a bullish opportunity, and I was looking for an extended sell-off. Now, Trump's obviously ruined my plan on the head and shoulders. For now, we might still start dropping, but for me, I was looking for a longer sell-off today to get us positioned. I was looking for another 10% on things like Render. I was looking for another 12% on things like on 𝗬𝗢𝗟𝗡𝗦 and a couple of these others. So what's just my thoughts? Rand just said altcoin season isn't happening, so who to listen to? Guys, you know what? I mean, it depends what your definition of altcoin season is, okay? At some point, dominance is going to drop for a sustained period. And that might be for 5 days. It might be for 2 weeks. It might be for 3 weeks. We've seen this before. Just enjoy the moment when we get it. You can call it whatever you want when it's pumping. Okay, you don't have to call it alt season.
Solana was $8 2 years ago. I think we're doing okay there.
Yeah, so in theory, it's always alt season. Okay, James, just your comments on the carry trade. Where are you here?
Yeah, that's it. There's been tons of talk of this, and lots of the market's been nervous just because I think everybody has PTSD. I got absolutely destroyed during the carry trade dump, but so did everybody else. But I got really hurt there, and that's why no one forgets this. But the big thing, like you said, that they're not looking at is it was a surprise increase last time. This time they're calling for it. So long as they don't, they're calling for 0.25%. If they come in at 0.5%, we're in trouble. But if they do what they said, I think this is priced in. Now, there's still always a chance that they could actually pause. If they pause, that would be massively bullish. I don't think they will, but just saying that's a possibility too. But yeah, so, a lot of this is just FUD, nervousness. The market's just been scared because of what happened last time. It's going to blow over, and I think it's priced in at this point.
Yeah, so for me, it's been quite an exciting opportunity today, looking for these head and shoulders start playing out into this Japanese news. So that is what I wanted to give you guys today. So Anthony Pompliano says, what is your best bearish argument right now for the US economy and Texas Bitcoin berserker? Says stock market and national debt at all-time high, Japan carry trade about to pop again. Look, I think the difference here is everyone knows about it. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you can see the S&P knows about it and they are still pumping into it. So unless there's a major surprise here later on, then we carry on. It's business as usual. Obviously, some kind of bullish pullback maybe on the cards, but other than that, we are good. Okay, so thanks for that. Let's talk a couple of other things here now. At the moment, we've covered Sol. You've seen my situation now. Let's talk XRP because this is your favorite token, but here we are. Month all-time highs. You can see this is the monthly chart from January 2018, and we are at 3.4. Okay, so congrats. Are you still holding that?
I'm still holding. I added as we fell back there a little bit just the other day. Just keep building and building slowly. My entry is still, it's like $1.85 at this point.
Disgusting. I'm gonna put you away. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Okay, so why are we talking about XRP and Sol? Well, because of the CME the CME announcement that we saw over there. So yes, we got to be a little bit. We got to pay attention to this thing. So let's just look at a couple of DGen things now on XRP. If you guys are chasing some kind of entry here, you can see this was the picture we got earlier today on a lot of tokens. We got it on BTC as well. And Cutting George says this cycle is bullshit with the XRP rigging. It always feels like that, doesn't it? It always feels like that. So here's the XRP. We've got a bullish divergence. We've got a reversal print. We've got our magical blue dot. Now, what I was saying in my channel in the chart hackers earlier today is just note the previous two-hour reversals that we've had on XRP. They weren't major. Okay, they weren't massive size reversals that we got out of it. Okay, that one wasn't too bad, but they weren't huge. Okay, so we can see this thing is turning bullish. We can see we can expect something here. But remember, higher time frame, these things might want to be rolling over a little bit more. Look at that daily. That daily is starting to push down for us. The 12-hour is starting to push down. Okay, so we do have a little bit of a journey still on the higher time frame. So that brings me to that bear case with some of these head and shoulders that I'm going to talk to you about today. But if you're looking for a short-term banger, well, XRP, amongst many other alts, is looking a little bit bullish here. So you could get a couple of % out of this thing. So what you want to do is use today's low, which is typically a 618 and VWAP retest that we had today. Look at that, 3.03. So for me, there is a possible XRP bounce play here, and bearing in mind that the higher time frame is actually bearish, so we might reject at some point and send it lower. But for me, there is a reversal play here while that oscillator is tracking higher, and look at 3 as your support. So if you start candle closing under the 3 level, yeah, then this thing falls over, and we're most likely coming to take out that wick, and you're looking at about 2.8. So it depends on your level of degen, but you can see this thing wants to bounce before it falls over again. So you might get a few % out of this stuff as we tick along. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Rune dead or not, guys? We got to look at this Rune chart. But you know what happened today? Every morning on X, I say, what do you guys want me to chart for the show? And I actually picked a winner there because he was really passionate about the token he wanted me to chart. So I'll show you that tweet in a couple of minutes. Then there was a dupe airdrop. So I just wanted to touch on dupe because that is something we have been looking at. So there was that dupe airdrop, and obviously everybody went and sold. Okay, and here we go. So Marty Party saying, don't sell your dupe from the airdrop, just hold it till next month. It's going to be worth 2 to 3x. I concur. Okay, I don't think that's a bad play. But if these guys keep selling their airdrop tokens, if they keep selling, okay, now remember how this can work. If you get given free money and the market starts collapsing and you're trading in leverage positions and you see your portfolio going down and you've just been handed free money from an airdrop, there's a good chance if there's a little bit of bearishness in the market, these guys are going to sell. Okay, and that's going to give you a nice entry on dupe. So I've pulled out dupe on the 3-day. That is looking really good to me at lower levels. Now, this is extreme. This is obviously now, if we get the sell-off that we're talking about or the sell-off that we want, there's going to be a nice entry for you guys on dupe. So anything for me down to about 65. So that's going to be about a 15% drop. And that takes into account regular bearish market conditions and then people panic selling their airdrop. Okay, so that should put extra pressure onto us there on dupe. So 0.65, it's a strong daily level for me. You can see my 3-hour time frame. That thing's cruising at the bottom, but we want some kind of divergence print. We want to see some kind of reversal on my chart prime oscillator here to give us that trigger that there's going to be a buy and play. So for me, 0.65, that's where it is. And Numbnut says my portfolio is non-existent. Look, they've wiped out the entire Trump, everything from 4th of November, some of it even worse at the moment. So he's really got to now redeem himself here and pump it back up. Let's talk Link because that hit an entry that I gave you guys yesterday. Did anybody get the bounce play on Link? Let me know in the chats if you did get something. We didn't nail it perfectly. I got my first entry and I don't have my full entry on Link. We're going to see now if the market's rinsing us, we might get a second bite at this. But Zach Ryans is talking about DTCC. the Depository Trust and Clearing Corp, the world's biggest CSD that settles 2.7 quadrillion annually. That's a few bob. That's a small little amount, and is actively working with Chainlink on bringing capital markets on chain. Okay, interesting. That is why I've been talking about Link a little bit over the last few days. I don't like to be the Link army man here, but it's topical, and this thing is obviously doing a couple of things. So this was the entry I gave you guys yesterday. We were talking 50-day MA, we were talking VWAPs, we were talking 382. So that was the region we were looking at. And obviously, you know that I like to ladder in to these positions when we drift into those zones. So that's what I typically like to do. And we can see now on the 4 hour, this thing's actually printing bullish divergence. So this thing is now actually trying to turn around for us and start pushing back up. So that could be interesting for us on Link on the 4 hour. And you can see, I think yesterday we were watching the 1 hour chart for our potential entries. And you can see this thing has dropped into an order block here. So it's taken out some of that order block. And now we are looking, obviously, for more upside. So key support here on Link. I hope some of you guys got it. But key support will be the low from earlier today. So that is going to be, let me just take off my order blocks there. That is going to be your VWAP low. So that is 24 on the button. So that could be your first line of support that you can watch. Then alternatively, you can say, okay, the real support for me is the 50-day MA and these lows. So you could say 23.5. So if you close under 23.5, that would mean a loss of the 50-day MA and then maybe some pump up and then maybe some more downside. So just look at that. That's going to be your key support for Link. If you're trading this thing now, that's pretty much where you need to be. If you want to remain bullish, you want to hold that level. Otherwise, you know, things are going to get a little bit dark to the downside there. And you also don't want to see a situation. Now, this isn't the best example, but you also don't want to see something like that start forming for Link, because then they really want to come for us. And then we go into 19.8. So right now, I hope you got that entry. 23.5, that's your real big support. And then your secondary support is the low at 24. What are the upside targets? Let's just briefly look at a couple of things. So the first thing you want to do is just take out your high. That would be your most reasonable upside target. So your high is going to be 27. You want to take that one out. And then again, look at the highs from December. And that is going to be around 30.5, give or take. So 30.5 and 27. Those are the reasonable targets here for this Link move. Okay. That is that. So hopefully you got that. And if you are pumping on Link, you can also just put your stop at entry and protect yourself. Okay. Or you can take profit. That would be pleasing as well. Taking a bit of profit, maybe just lock in a handbag there every time we get a pump. CRXP says FTM. And I think he's talking about Sonic. Now, when Sonic becomes cool again, like Phantom, then I think we'll talk a lot more about that thing. So we got to look. And Ryan is, I don't know what Ryan is talking about here. Let's go Larry Fink. What's he saying? He says, BlackRock CEO stated today, this is Ondo Finance, the fact that we are not moving forward with tokenization of every stock and bond is crazy. We should be moving toward that frontier. Now, imagine Larry Fink walking into your office as a politician and saying, this is what needs to happen, and it needs to happen fast, okay? I believe this guy gets shit done. So if he's not openly talking about this stuff, we know it's close, okay? It's coming. This guy is pushing things. And obviously, Ondo is one of those plays. And you can see I'm still nursing this Ondo position that I've been in now. When did we take the Ondo trade? Probably a week ago. And still nursing this guy at the moment on WEX. And you can see it's running on 40X because I've taken out my margin. Okay, so remember, that's a trick you're going to learn on the Trading Xcelerator. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do all of that stuff on my Trading Xcelerator, which is the masterclass is coming in 5 days' time. So in fact, before we look at Ondo, let me just tell you what's going on. What is this? What is this? Okay, you see all this science that I do on the charts. You see the oscillators I'm using, the chart prime indicators, all that stuff. Well, I'm teaching you this in my Trading Xcelerator. You're going to know exactly how to do all these things in 10 days. I've made some short, concise, easy to understand lessons and videos for you guys. And then I'm doing my masterclass in 3 days and 20 hours time. Okay, and then I'm going to give you some real secrets as to how we go about doing things. So guys, get involved in this, guy. Sign up to the Trading Xcelerator. Go into the show description. Go under. You can see it's right at the top here for you. Click on it. Register for the Trading Xcelerator. Get stuck in. You'll understand what I'm talking about. It will make your life so much simpler when you see me talking about these reaction zones and hot zones and what the hell is this guy doing? Why is it bouncing off these lines? How does he know it's bouncing off these lines? Well, do the accelerator, and then you're going to know. Okay, it's very simple. And most importantly, NZ Danny says banger, and that is what you need to know. You need to know how to say banger, because when it pops, you got to be like banger. Okay, and that's part of the trading accelerator. They're going to teach you how to do that. So, okay, let's go Ondo, and I want to do a couple of views for you on Ondo. So, bigger picture, we're looking at Ondo on the daily. You can see we've had a nice trend break now. There was a massive concern in the market with the Ondo unlock. They were unlocking 120% of the supply, or the circulating supply. So it was super bearish, the news that they were unlocking, I can't remember the number, $2 billion worth of Ondo. Then, it was obviously a FUD situation because, I mean, people were aware of it, but then there was speculation that Ondo is launching global markets. I think that was the name, where you're going to be able to trade regular stocks, okay, using Ondo. Okay, so they really are a legit RWA project. They supported and backed by BlackRock. And for me, why would you sell? Okay, so if you got your token unlock as an early investor with all this news around the corner, why would you sell it? Okay, maybe a portion, but I mean, surely you hold this thing for bigger things. So that is why I'm obviously fixated on this Ondo trade that I've got at the moment. And if we can hold certain levels, I'll just keep adding. So you can see it's now $14,000 in size, and we'll try and grow this thing strategically as we go. So let's talk what is going down on a shorter time frame now for Ondo. And you can see, just like everything else, we got our bullish divergence, we got our reversal print. There were signs coming that we were getting a bounce in the market. So typically what happened here was we dropped into that zone, and then Chaos, after not telling us that he was taking an Ondo trade, posted after the Ondo pump. Chaos, where are you? This is actually a penalty. So Chaos posts in our WhatsApp group after the Ondo pump, look at my amazing entry. And we were like, well, where's the trade, bro? Where did you send it to us? So hopefully he sent it to the hackers, guys. Chaos, are you there in the chat? There you are. You see. Go. I hope you sent that to the hackers, guys. He says he doesn't know what I mean. Okay, well, that's fine. So what do we do now for Ondo? We understand the concept. We understand the basics. We can see on the daily, this thing is super bullish. What is our upside target on the higher time frame? We can see big levels here, 1.53. That's a big level. And then obviously we can use our existing daily support. So with this information at hand, we can see our daily support is 1.245. Okay, 1.245. And our upside target is 1.53. So with this information at hand, we can now zoom in on a lower time frame and say, okay, where's our daily level? If we can hold certain areas, there's our 1.245. Okay, so we can see that that's our daily support level. We don't want to go below that. We can see lower time frame, we've broken a trend. Look at that downtrend. We've now popped the downtrend. So this could be a bullish move coming for Ondo. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be, to eternity, but you can see this 2 hours now starting to get aggressive for us. So maybe what we can get is some kind of retest here, and then that push to the highs. So that's typically where I want to go for Ondo now. I want to take out that 50-day MA, which was our previous resistance band. So that is the target for me. How do we get there if this is going to play out? So if you're jumping into Ondo now, you're a little bit late. Okay, you can see you're going to be exposed to quite a lot of risk. So your safe play, as always, is to really wait for your entries when we're getting a bleed out. If you're jumping in here now, you're exposing yourself to 8% risk on Ondo, to a reasonable area, where it should hold. Alternatively, you're exposing yourself to about 4.6% to a degen entry level. Okay, so that is why, for me, I'd say, cool, we've had a little pop here. If this thing is going to remain bullish, you're most likely going to have some kind of bullish bounce off a 382 or a 618 or something like that. And you can see I've got my VWAP here. I've got my 618. So for me, that's my most reasonable zone. I can give you Ondo short-term 1.3. Okay, that is what you want. And then daily support 1.245 is quite a big one. So if you close under that daily, that is going to turn a little bit ugly there for us. So you really want to see that that daily level hold there. Alternatively, you're going back to these lows, okay, which we will deal with if we do start heading down there. Now, let's talk WLD. So this was an AI play that I gave you guys yesterday. And this thing, I mean, I just love the way these charts listen to the 200-day MA. I gave you this entry yesterday as the place to hold. We were looking at this 200-day moving average as our first reaction zone, our first baseline, where we wanted WLD to bounce if there was a market pullback. Now, as it turns out, we had a pump on WLD, then we had a massive market dip after that, and you can see I'm still nursing this WLD trade. I've been adding to it slowly. Okay, so I've been nibbling away at this thing, and I started adding at the 200-day moving average. So let's look at that now on our DGen perspective here. Let's see what is going on. And you can see we can break these trades down. Then we can zoom in once we understand the big levels. Now, with the information that we had, we knew the 200-day was a daily level, and it was obviously the 200-day moving average, which, it needs to be respected. And you can see at the moment, we've had a nice reaction on WLD. Look at that beautiful little bounce. So I hope some of you guys from last night got this, okay? At anything from 2.13 would have been a buy zone down to the 200-day at 2.1. So this was one of our areas we discussed as key support to hold. And I want to remind you guys, the best way to do this, if you sometimes feel overwhelmed with a lot of the charts that I give you, pick 3 or 4 of your favorites that I do, mark those levels on your charts, be prepared to wait 12 hours, 24 hours for the setup. Sometimes these setups take days to play out for you guys, but be prepared, do the work, and make sure you have the levels ready so that when something like WLD drips into the 200-day MA, you are prepped and ready, and you are expecting that bounce in that area. So for me, that is why I added on that region on WLD as well. And look, that's probably the best way to watch the show. Okay, so pick your favorites, take notes, do these things. And while we're going on about all this stuff, I've passed my my third funded account. Okay, so now I've got 3 funded accounts now. Let's go here. Oh, here we go. Challenge. That's it. So I've just passed the one in the middle, phase 2. Okay, I've just passed that phase 2. So that is now going to become a funded account. So you can see I've now got a $10,000 and a $5,000, and this $25,000 account is now about to be a funded account. So I'm just going through the regulations, which says I've got to trade for 3 to 5 days. So currently I'm trading tiny $21 Bitcoin positions just to get through the day. But you can see I needed to make $1,250 for me to pass this and to get an actual real money account. So now we've passed this one, and I'm just letting the days go by, and then we're going to have 3 funded accounts from Bitfunded. Now, what am I talking about? What is this guy on about? What is he doing? Well, Bitfunded is basically prop trading, and it's one way you can potentially manage your risk. So if you don't want to throw your money in an exchange and use leverage and get rinsed and do all these types of things while you're learning, what you can do, or even when you experience, but what you can do is go into the Bitfunded challenge, and you can buy a $5,000 account or a $10,000 account for like $79 or $99. And then what you need to do is phase 1, get 8% on a trade, and phase 2, get 5% on a trade. And then once you pass that, they give you real money to trade with. Okay, so you get real money, and then you keep 80 to 90% of the profits. Now, there's obviously rules and things like that. Panda says BTC is going to dark places. There's obviously rules and things like that on how to go about trading. And I did a live Zoom on Chart Hackers about it the other day, which we've actually saved for the Chart Hackers members, guys. So that is in our alpha zone that we've got on how we can go about using Bitfunded. But yeah, that's essentially it, guys. If you want to learn a bit more about that, obviously, and you want some trade entries to pass, you can obviously get it from hackers. We are in there, and besides me, obviously, we've got amazing traders in there dropping alpha. So that is also under the show description there for you guys. That is hackers, and Bitfunded is here for you guys if you do want to have a crack at this and get a couple of funded accounts and trade with other people's money. Okay, let's go. Oh, this WLD is nice now. Look at this, turning bullish here on the 1 hour. You see, we track the oscillators, we move it into hot zones, we track the oscillators dipping down, we look for reversals, we push buttons. Okay, that's pretty much how we do it. We keep it simple. Okay. Let's talk Doge quickly now. Bitwise Doge ETF likely coming soon. Yes, I checked, and this is definitely legit, says Eric again. Okay, he's featuring a lot lately. There's some whack job committing forgery for a quick pump a la BlackRock XRP that one time. Okay, remember, there was a headline once, and XRP pumped, and it turned out it was all bullshit, and everybody got rinsed. Okay, so this is now legit for the Doge, guys, but we're not getting our Doge pumpage just yet. But I've got a potential mover for you guys. So here is Doge again, just like you've seen on a lot of these other tokens. I'm getting bullish divergence prints. I'm getting reversal prints. Now, what does this tell me? Typically, well, this tells us we should balance the probability, start pushing higher at some point. Now, sometimes we know that comes with a second dip before we get our move, so you need to be prepared. So if you are interested in a Doge trade, what you're going to do is you can start looking for a move here, and you can see we've got a little bit of a journey to go. So if the market stays relatively bullish, you should get that kind of move today into about 366. That is pretty much where you want to be. Then you can decide after that, do we reject or does this thing pump through that zone? But you can see why that 366 is quite an important area there for Doge. So that is short term. And what I'd say is watch the lows as your support. So 344, if you close under that, then you most likely come and take out this zone here at the 786. So it depends on how much leverage you are trading with. Okay, if you're trading with super high leverage, you don't want to stick around too long. Okay, if you're trading spot or low leverage stuff and you see this, okay, that tells us, cool, there's a possible reversal coming. If you're quite relaxed about things, you know, typically you'll get your reversal either here or something like that, one of these major zones, and then you're going to get it, and then you'll get a nice push up, and you can be very relaxed about it because at some point that 2 hour pushes all the way back up to the top and you get some kind of action out of that. Rob says, Rune, fantastic in Raging Bull, but awful. Correct. Okay, now market is bearish at the moment, and people are selling or they're closing their loans or doing whatever they're doing, and that has obviously affected how Rune is operating. Okay, so yeah, there is a little bit of FUD around that at the moment, but perfect for bullish conditions. Yes. Okay, so just to finish Doge, what you can do here, use this zone. You can see this zone is potentially going to push up. Don't ape, obviously, don't go too big, but close under 344. That's probably a little bit bearish for the next zone, your next reaction zone, 335. And then the next big one for me is going to be this 100-day MA and this wick. Look at that. But this is major weekly support down here. So we know this is a massive zone. I mean, that is huge on Doge. Okay, that whole area there is very, very strong. So it's going to take a hell of a bearish conditions to drop past that one. So what I've got there, 344, watch that, 335. Okay, that is the Doge game plan. Remember, all these charts go straight into Chart Hackers after the show. Okay, they get posted there for you guys, and you can look at them at your leisure. Now, there's one I haven't touched in a while, and this is Wormhole. Ticker is W. And current mood, breaking records. Wormhole achieved $1.2 billion in volume during the long weekend. Okay, so things are going down here on Wormhole at the moment. And I thought, let's look at the chart and see. And to be fair, it hasn't been the most bullish pumper. I was actually a little bit disappointed in the trading setup here that we were getting, because we've been involved in a couple of pumps on this Wormhole. And look, maybe it's time for another one. Maybe it's time for the next one. And you can see we are dripping into zones. So if we are going to get something like this, I would most likely expect it to either be in the current region where it is now. You can see we are sitting in one of my chart prime order blocks here with a rising trend and horizontal. So it could be this zone, or alternatively, it's probably going to be this 192 level. Okay, so both of these areas look like reasonable zones where this thing might give you that type of punchy little pop that we like so much, that we've had before on this worm. So what are these moves here? That one was 91%. Let's see what this one was. 92%. Okay, matchy. Okay, maybe the market makers are doing nice things. So watch these levels. 22 down to 214, and then lower down 193. So if we get a meltdown later, 193 is where it's at. There could be something coming here. Again, don't put everything in it, but it's dropping into a nice zone. So maybe we're going to get some kind of move. Mark's telling us dominance could spoil the party. Mark, this is not good. I don't want to hear this. USDT dominance bouncing and BTC dominance pushing. Now, the plus side or the positive about dominance pumping into these major areas is that we get closer and closer to a relief bounce on the alts. So if you're feeling pressure, you typically want to watch dominance on a high time frame, and you want to pick out areas where you think it could reject. So for me, it's just under the 60%. If it rejects here, I think we get an alts rally. So just look out. Obviously, if it rips through, we fucked, okay? And we all going to hell, especially the alts traders. And that is going to be the next zone. So watch out, okay? Watch out this dominance. But I'd say just under 60, you're looking for that rejection, and maybe we'll get something out of that. So guys, Worm, bigger picture, that is what I've got for you, okay? So it could be something. So just pay attention to this. Obviously, know when to cut. If you start closing under 212 and you're using a lot of leverage, well, maybe you want to sit it out until it drops to about this 195, 193 level, somewhere in that zone, and then you're going to be looking for that bounce. Okay, so that is Worm, and then this guy. I felt so bad for this guy. Now, at Lanshan Spirit, I hope you're watching, bro, because this morning I said, oh wait, I'm going to lose this guy's thing. I said, what must I trade today on the show? And this guy says, say, for the love of God, say. And I thought, fuck, I got to help this man. And let's get him some say here, and let's take a look at what's going on. So I have marked out say for you guys before, and this might be in my long-term charts at the moment in Chart Hackers, and this was the long we were waiting for down here. Okay, so we're still waiting for this guy to play out. We're not quite on our macro 786. So there's argument against and for hitting the region. The first one obviously is the fact that you can see we've got some horizontal sitting here, and that is why this thing is kind of just floating around that horizontal there at 33, and you can see it's reacting in that zone. Now, for me, if you've been watching me long enough, you know I love a macro 786. Okay, you just know that I love this thing. And here it is tying in with some horizontals as well. So for me, I think say is on the table for a dip lower. And if it comes, okay, if we get a dip, now it's not a major dip. We're talking 8%. I mean, that can happen in a couple of hours with some of these altcoins. So you're looking at about an 8% dip there on say. And the target for me will be 0.316 is what I'd look for. So that would essentially take out the rest of this candle. Okay, you can see that candle. Then we've got our horizontals in play. So 0.316 looks like an interesting zone. And then if there is a meltdown, now if you've been watching long enough or you've been around for crypto long enough, you know what I'm talking about, a meltdown. 4th or 5th of August, 6th of September, 6th of October. You see, I even remember the dates because it left so many scars on all of us. I think it was 2nd of November. And then, we pumped again. Yeah, on the 4th of November, we actually started pumping. And then we had another dump. When was it? 20th of December. They made me stop smoking on the 20th of September. It was so stressful. And, those are proper dumps. So if we have one of those, okay, 8% is not going to be enough for say. If we have a beginner's dump, okay, this is the one we no one cares about. That's the 8% move. If we have a proper dump like 20th of December, for me, you're looking at be ready. 255. Be ready for that zone. 255. That is where it's going to bounce if this thing falls over. So just make sure you have these notes down. Okay, know those levels, understand them. Okay, let's go. We're cooking here. Let's talk the AI agents. Okay. AI agents, a couple of here. Now, obviously, they started pumping when Uncle Trump started talking about a few things. And, Nicolas saying Rune printed more total supply. Fuck me. That is quite bearish. Right, James is nodding his head. What's going on there? You follow the Rune news. What's the story?
That was the problem all along. Price falls and they end up printing more tokens. Right, so they just keep minting more tokens. It just keeps falling down. The price goes down. They mint more tokens. It's just a downward spiral. I'm super bearish on Rune.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
No, not good news.
Chaos is in the chat saying, I really want to give a Bitfunded away. Okay, cool. Okay, James, pick 2 people for Bitfunded in the chats. Guys, let us know why you want Bitfunded. Okay, pick 2 people in the chat.
Sheila, some good comments here. Best comments wins.
Okay, best comments win. Okay, James is going to select 2 guys for a Bitfunded giveaway, and then I'm going to tell you how to do it. Okay, so let's talk AI agents. Now, Trump was talking, went a little bit bullish. Now, you remember the rules of these AI agents. We go small position, big move. Because these things pump so hard, you can get rinsed so quickly. So don't go big positions here. Go small positions, and then you can start adding and growing these things when you are out of danger. You just want to protect yourself. You don't want to be in danger and open the massive size that puts you under pressure when you get a pump. Look at this pump. This thing did 11.6% in a 15-minute candle. Now, at the same time, look how far it came back down. It came down 8% in another 15-minute candle. You don't want to expose yourself to that kind of feeling on 20x leverage. You're going to get liquidated, okay? So small position, big move, low leverage. When it starts running, add, okay? We know these things can print us money. We know these are handbag printers, okay? So AI XBT, what did it hit? We gave you guys a 618 zone for yesterday, 0.7. That's the area. I think we can claim it because we did get a candle close above that area. Watch, we love these candle closes. Now remember, this is why I always say, look for the candle closes, because these guys come and they flush people out, they flush out stops, they do those things, and then they send it up. So if you can look for a candle close. Wherever possible, play the candle close if you can do that, okay? And they push this thing back up, and then it starts climbing. So just a little thing you guys can look out for. If you have hard stops all the time, you're going to get so upset with yourself if you constantly get stop, and then the token rips and you're not in it. Okay, so candle closes, they're probably the best way to protect yourself. Obviously, you expose yourself to maybe a little bit more risk. If it dumps a little bit further, then obviously it can cost you a little bit more. So just understand that side of things as well. But ideally, the candle close. And guys, keep the bit funded comments coming through here. James is gonna sort you out. Okay, James is gonna sort you out. Okay, so AIXBT 0.7. Use that as support. Okay, what have I got here on the 1 hour? This thing is still looking bullish. Look at that, pushing up. Okay, turning nice and green. So, you know, potentially there's a little bit more upside here on this guy. Let's look at the 8 hour just out of example. Let's see what the 8 hour tells us. So not the worst, okay, not the worst. We have it a bounce. Let's look at the 4. So that 4 is a little bit of a problem. Okay, the 4 is dipping. So we'll need to get some kind of reversal on this 4 if it's going to be a sustained move. So we really want to see that quite soon. So 1 hour time frame bullish, 4 hour remains to be seen. So protect yourself. 0.7, that's your big zone. You want to, if you close under that, you probably have a couple of issues there. AI16Z, again, small position, big move. Look at this. Okay, what does it pump into? VWAP trend. Okay, oh no, I created that trend. Okay, what does it pump into though? VWAP right here, tied in with horizontals. Look at this. So simple rejection things, but again, another prime example for you guys as to small positions here, big move. You don't want to get rinsed on these AI agents and be pissed off with them. Look at that, 13% pump. What happens immediately if you buy the top? They send it back down, 11%, rinsed, liquidated, okay? Don't do high leverage with AI agents. Please do not do that. Okay, so right now, what do we do? What is the game plan on AI16Z? 0.93. You can see this is support we want to hold. We do have liquidity here as well. We've got this wick. So they might want to come and just touch this guy. That's your most bullish case now on this thing. This is our 1 hour printing reversals. Let's see what we've got on a 2 hour. Okay, 2 hour looks good. Nice bullish divergence here. So there might be something coming on the 2 hour. Could be a little bit more bullish here for us on the 2 hour. So watch what happens in this region. I would say if you close under 896, then you maybe want to start trimming this thing. You maybe just want to start cutting a little bit because you're most likely going to take out some wicks to the downside over there. Okay, so that is the most reasonable next zone. So play around here, 9.3 down to this 9.0. If you close under 893, yeah, start cutting this thing a little bit. Mark thinks James is quite hot. It sounds like Mark wants something.
These guys are trying hard, I think. Yeah.
It sounds like Mark wants something from you.
Yeah.
Have we got 2 winners yet?
I might need to talk to you after. There's so many good stories here that maybe we need to make an executive decision at the end of the show.
Okay, so, well, the thing is, we need these guys to email us. Okay, so, okay, let's do this. Okay, James is going to talk to me after the show. Okay, he's going to give me 5 to give away of the guys that dropped the best comments now today. Tomorrow, we will hand them out. So we make sure you are watching the show, okay? Because you got to be watching the show live because we're going to call out your name and you're going to have to do an email, okay? And you, that person we call out, you're going to have to mail the guys. So we're going to tell you what to do tomorrow. So make sure you're watching live. We'll give out 5, okay? Are you happy with 5 or do we need more?
No, well, I mean, that's up to you. You're the boss here, but that's more than the 2 there was before, so that's 3 extra chances. I like it.
We'll do 5. Make sure you're watching live tomorrow, though, guys, so you can catch the announcement because your name's going to be read out and you need to know that it's you. Okay, let's go. I've got 1 more minute. Let's go. Okay, bearish cases. I've got to give you guys the bear cases, okay? I know I showed you this tweet yesterday, but it's starting to play out. So I was getting a little bit bearish based on what I was seeing. A lot of these altcoins looking head and shoulders, looking bearish. You can see what is going down, okay? The charts don't lie. Okay, obviously we like it if it's a fake out or doesn't play out, but the reality is we see this so often. And here's 𝗬𝗧, first one, head and shoulders. We are now moving into our entry zone. You can actually see the first buy zone has been hit at 377. So for me, the trade idea here on 𝗬𝗧 was anything from 377 down to around about 365. So that is still on the table for me. So look out. We're looking for this full reset here on the higher time frame. Let's look at the 12. Okay, nearly there. Okay, nearly there. Let's look on the daily. Okay, Okay, almost there. We're getting a reversal print. We are close. Okay, so again, we don't want to. We're trying to catch the reversal here as neatly and as cleanly as possible without getting rinsed. Okay, so that is why I've been highlighting this region for quite a while. It's quite a few days here. So 377, we're finally getting there, down to 365. That is area number one. Now I want to give you interest zones in case we go hard, in case they dump. 336 and 288. Those are your next zones. But you can see we are close, okay? We are close to something happening here. So you've got your levels there. Tower, this will be in Chart Hackers. Obviously, Render, no changes. Still waiting for this dip into the 200-day MA. If we get a little bit bearish later, I think we're going to bag entries. Anything, 6.5, those type of levels there on Render. Looking for that reversal. You can see I've got my blue dot printing here at the moment. We could be getting something. There's some divergence here, looking like a spider web. So we're getting close. 6.5 here on Render. Well, in fact, you can go 6.66 down to 6.5. Remember, this would be best for spot or low leverage stuff. Near as well, another one, 4.52. Okay, if this plays out, these things dump into these zones. 4.52, that's a 9% dump on near. In fact, it's 11% dump on near. 4.52. If they're coming to NU, it's 3.6. Okay, so no changes. We did touch on that one yesterday. And then in terms of Trump, now I've probably missed this now, but I wanted to show you. Some guy spent $2.1 million. Look at all the sells now. Some guy bought $2.1 million worth of Trump. And I put it in the newsroom on Banter Bubbles. So on Banter Bubbles, it's floating around there. You can just go into Banter Bubbles there, go to the newsroom. There it is. Okay. And you'll see somewhere I dropped the $2.1 million buy order from somebody on that Trump token. So remember, guys, Banter Bubbles is an app. You can just grab the link in the description. It's an app for you on your phone. And there's a lot going on there. Obviously, the newsroom is an absolute banger for us. And you can see, here's one of my charts here from earlier today. And there's a couple of things going on in that for us. Okay, let's go. Goku, we still didn't get our breakout. We're almost there, guys. Look at that. We had a fake out there and it's dipped back. We're now in our second zone of interest here on Goku. So nearly there. Looking for that big pop. And then hopefully some kind of explosive move there. And then Pepe, guys, no changes. This entry is still valid for me. Anything from, we nearly hit it today, 1449. I think we did. 1449 down to 1312, still in play for me. And let's look at Hyperliquid. And that was also one of the charts we were watching yesterday, 2-hour divergence. You can see we got resistance here. So just be careful here. 24 is resistance on Hyperliquid. Pop 24, then we can maybe start getting a little bit more bullish again. Right now, resistance. Be careful, Hyperliquid. Looking bullish, but be careful at resistance 24. The fifth man says the $2.1 million buy was Biden. I believe that. And guys, so look at the sign behind me at the Lord of Entry. And you can follow me on Twitter, X, at the Lord of Entry. Now, I bought something with an X on it and I got sent the bird. Okay, so excuse me, I know what's going on there. It's supposed to be an X. Literally, what I was buying had the X on it. And then when it arrived, it had a bird for Twitter. But you know what I mean, at the Lord of Entry. Follow me there. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. That was fun. Hackers, the charts will be there for you guys. And tomorrow, same time, same place. Yes, sir.
You know what? I've been talking to Chaos in the back here, and I think we've selected some people. He was helping me get through the chat there.
Oh, have we selected people already? Now, hopefully they haven't left because have they left now? They haven't left.
We can always remind them tomorrow too, I suppose.
Okay, give us the names. Let's go.
Okay, first one is Make Money, Travel, Enjoy.
Nice. I've met her in Dubai. Oh. Absolute legend.
Okay.
Yeah, absolute
Next
legend.
one is Tindo, the African Degen.
Legend.
He's on the show all the time.
Always. Give, yeah.
Anna Banks, just because she actually joined Chart Hackers yesterday, I think she deserves one.
Team spirit. I like that. Good.
Mr. Invalidated. See if we can get him uninvalidated.
Nice.
And then Hassan Mahmoud.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
let's go. So all those names, guys, all those names that James has just read, okay, you getting a Bitfunded base account, what you need to do is email giveaways@cryptobanter.com. Giveaways@cryptobanter.com. I'm going to write that into the chat here. Giveaways@cryptobanter.com. Okay. There it is. Okay. make sure you email, say your name, okay? You want it on the show, okay? And congratulations. Then James will obviously verify that it's you, and then we are cooking, okay? Good luck, and we'll just remind you guys tomorrow. So some of you might have jumped off, so we'll remind you tomorrow. And yeah, well done to everybody. Okay, nice one, James. Nice one,
Congrats,
Chaos,
everyone.
as well. Cool. Okay, guys, tomorrow, another day, okay, in the Wild West of crypto. Looking forward to it. As usual, we'll catch you later. What a banger. What a